Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and if you're someone that wants to invest in foreclosures, you may want to pay attention to this video because we're going to go over the top 5 states with the sharpest increase in foreclosure activity. And how we're going to do that, y'all, is we're going to really deep dive into a updated report from Black Knight that goes over the July default and foreclosure data. The title of this report is Foreclosure Starts Pull Back in July, Holding Well Below Pre-Pandemic Levels, while Early Stage Delinquencies edged slightly higher. Now, before I jump into the states, what I want to do first for the viewers that don't understand the foreclosure processes is I'm going to go over the definition of the terms like REO, default, foreclosure, things of that nature. And then we're going to hop into the top 5 states. And what's really interesting about these states is they actually switch. The top 5 states for delinquency differs from the top 5 states in serious delinquency. So it's going to be really interesting to point that out. But remember, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor, even though my bio is as a frustrated renter, outworked American, worried father, husband that does the dishes, someone that absolutely wants to help you. And if you guys can, for those reasons, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't. Now let's get started in this data right now. Okay, so remember, you guys, I strongly encourage you to go to my description to click the links, bookmark some of these data provider points, because I'm literally giving you guys so many data sources. You don't have to be stuck with Zillow, Redfin, CoreLogic, Realtor.com. We have so many, but let's read this right now. I'm going to start on delinquency status. Okay, so essentially a delinquency status, here's the definition. All delinquency status are calculated using MBA methodology based on the payment due date provided by the servicer. Loans in foreclosure are reported separately and are not included in the MBA days delinquency. So delinquency status is the foreclosure process has not started. Now, after that, we have 90-day defaults. This is when it starts getting real after you're 90 days late. Loans that were less than 90 days delinquent in the prior month and were 90 days delinquent but not in foreclosure in the current month. So again, once you're in default, the process of foreclosure starts. Now, foreclosure inventory. The servicer has referred the loan to an attorney for foreclosure. Loans remain in foreclosure inventory from referral to sell. So this is the point where the servicer or a lender refers the situation to an attorney who will finish and go through the foreclosure process. Now, foreclosure starts. Any active loan that was not in foreclosure in the prior month that moves into foreclosure inventory in the current month. Now, non-current. Loans in any stage of delinquency or foreclosure. So non-current and delinquency status are different because in non-current, foreclosures and defaults can be in non-current status. Now, foreclosure sale / new REO. REO is real estate owned property. Any loan that was in foreclosure in the prior month that moves into post-sale status or is flagged as a foreclosure liquidation. So after that is REO. The loan is in post-sale foreclosure status. Listing status is not consideration. This includes all properties on and off the market. In other words, you guys, the foreclosure process can be long and tedious. That's why right now we actually have historically low foreclosure and historically low foreclosure activity, even though serious delinquencies are over 40% higher than pre-pandemic. Overall, we have very low numbers. And again, the reason, excessive equity. Number 2, the foreclosure ban. Number 3, banks are getting really good at loan modification. And here's the thing, in my opinion, we want the banks to be good at loan modification because, in my opinion, we don't want families going into foreclosure. That ruins a lot of people's lives. So why would we want to profit off of that, right? But the thing is, you guys, it is a process. It can take several months. So I believe if you prepare right now, you start monitoring certain areas, by 2023, you're going to be ready to start taking advantage of possible foreclosure deals. Now, I've seen foreclosures hit the market right now. I wouldn't touch it. They're being listed at market value and they're in horrible shape. Why would I buy a house at market value that needs $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in renovation? It doesn't make sense. So I think a lot of these foreclosures hitting the market right now are going to sit. at least in my local market here in Houston. But you guys, I'm going to jump back into this data right now. Let's take a look at the top 5 states. Okay, guys, so here's the states that are really, really in big trouble, which is Mississippi, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Alabama, and West Virginia. So if you wanted to purchase a foreclosure, whether it's to invest in a foreclosure, whether it's your primary residence, here's the states that you're really going to want to pay attention to. But you're also going to want to pay attention to a home inspection because a lot of these houses are not in good shape. Just FYI. But again, here's our top 5 states here. This is non-current percentage. Okay, we're going to look again at serious delinquencies because what we know is non-current percentage equals everything: defaults, foreclosure starts, everything. Okay, now number 1 state, number 1 in big trouble is Mississippi with a whopping 6.44% of mortgage holders being in non-current status. That is a huge number. Imagine 6.4% of household. That's a huge problem in Mississippi. Number 2 is Louisiana at 5.75% of people with mortgages currently in non-current status. That's huge. Next is Oklahoma at number 3 at 4.89%. That's a lot. Again, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, all in that same little pocket. Alabama comes in at number 4 at 4.88% of mortgage holders currently in non-current status. That's a lot. West Virginia made the list at 4.75% of non-current status. And again, you guys, this is historically not too high, but because of how unaffordable things are right now compared to 2008, it doesn't need to be high for it to spiral out of control. Now, what I also think is interesting is look at the bottom 5 states for non-current percentage. Okay, and this is so crazy because it's on the West Coast. The West Coast is so unaffordable. Personally, I would think the West Coast would be the top, but it's not. Here's the number 1. Number 1, we start with Oregon at only 2% of mortgage holders being in non-current status. That's still a lot in my opinion, but it's historically low. Colorado, second here at 1.9%. California, how is California on here? Raise your hand if you think California is unaffordable. I do. California at only 1.83% of mortgage holders on non-current. That's insane, you guys. I don't know what they're doing. Probably just printing money. I don't get it. Idaho comes in at 4 at 1.74%. Washington doing the best. Washington is the best. If you want a stable housing market that is not in trouble, Washington may be your state at only 1.71% of households in non-current status. But what I also find really intriguing is the top 5 states in serious delinquency status actually differ. Take a look at this chart right now. And we're going to pay attention to this top chart. Now, remember, I just read you guys the definition. So here's the top 5 states of 90 plus days delinquent. Now, remember, this group is also in the last chart that we looked at, non-current loan. But it separates this because these are the people that are the biggest at risk of starting foreclosure. And you'll notice that West Virginia and Oklahoma are now no longer on this list and have interestingly been replaced by Alaska and Maryland. What a huge difference. Alaska, are you serious? And then now we go out to the East Coast in Maryland. Now I understand Maryland and actually I understand Alaska, but I really understand Maryland replacing West Virginia and Oklahoma. But this is astonishing. So the top 5 states, you guys, in 90 days serious delinquencies is number 1, Mississippi. Mississippi's at 2.43% of current mortgage holders in serious delinquency status. Louisiana's number 2, again at 2.8%. Alabama at 1.79%. So we already know Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, those are the main 3 states that are experiencing massive surges in foreclosure activity. So much so the loan modifications, the equity growth, all of these things cannot keep up. And we're seeing these numbers surge in the top 3 states. Number 4 is Alaska at 1.7%. And number 5, Maryland at 1.57%. All right, so that's really going to conclude it with these videos. Now, again, if you're interested in purchasing and investing in a foreclosure, remember this. We still need a bit more time to pass because traditionally we need to purchase foreclosed properties significantly under market value. Right now, I'm seeing foreclosures listed at market value. So I want to caution you, if you see a foreclosure, don't just jump on it. You don't know if it's a good deal yet. And always assume that if you're going to purchase a foreclosure, that you're going to need a lot of money up front to rehab it. Is that the case all the time? No. But go into the foreclosure purchasing process as if you're going to have to put a lot of money into that home in order to get it at par as far as renovations and improvements in the house. Now, other than that, you guys, I really hope you go to Black Knight and you check out this data and it helps you. Now, real quick, I promised my man Juan from Miami. Shout out Juan from Miami. Special shout out to my subscribers. You guys know I love my subscribers. My man Juan cornered me on another YouTube page, and I was like, I have a big heart, so I'm like, dang it, Juan, I'm gonna give you a shout out. And you guys kind of see me going around YouTube and commenting on other content creators' channels. Say hi to me if you see me. The reason I do that, you guys, I'm a huge fan of these people. I look at myself as an actual fan of YouTube. So it's really cool to see you guys out there. I really appreciate you guys. Mad love to my subscribers. You guys, I hope you got value from this video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck and I hope you win.